Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So I just wanted to quickly show you guys what I set up in the dev account. So what we're trying to do is set up kind of a self-service platform where we can spin up our own notebooks and then have access to production data. Okay. And so I've just been using this thing called the service catalog. And the service catalog basically is a template, right? So the template has a list of products. So one of those products is going to be SageMaker. And I was just going to quickly show you how to spin up a notebook from this, service. So it still spins up the normal notebook and everything, but it attaches a role specifically for this environment, and I guess it just hopefully streamlines this process a little bit for everyone else. So I'll just quickly go through it now. So if you go to your console service catalog and in the product list, hopefully
Should we play along at home, do you think? Or
yeah, if you want.
just give us a second to log in. And this is just in prod, right?
No, this is not in prod yet.
In dev. Okay.
So this is in dev, and I kind of want you guys to, if you've got some models that you've built in dev, if you could rebuild them on this platform to just make sure all the permissions are there for you guys. Because I really don't know what needs to be allowed and disallowed. So I've just set up something kind of as a starting point.
Yep. Okay, service. Catalog. Ah, there it is. So far there's nothing you've done prior to this? Like you haven't set up any access, like this is just the default SageMaker product?
Let me see if I got it. One sec. This is not going to mean a lot. So it's basically, I've attached a role.
Yeah.
And this role has just basic EC2 VPC stuff, access to the Amazon Marketplace secret manager. So that's if we want to start to encrypt the SageMaker hard drives when we spin it up. So I haven't actually set that up just yet, but I've just left the permissions in there. I've left in code commit, so just for pull and push.
Mm-hmm.
And SageMaker, so everything except for, so you have access to everything that's not a resource. So I don't actually know what these are, but these 4 lines were included in the default data scientist role.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just left it as it is. And I've also added the endpoint one. So you have access to everything apart from the endpoints, just in this one, right? And this was just from the basic template also.
But you've added endpoint, you mean? So we do have endpoint access now.
No. So this is not
resource.
Yeah.
So why don't we want endpoint access?
So we don't want to touch the production endpoints. So I'll get to this at the end. There's another section that allows you access to the endpoints. All right. So this is all just default. I really don't know what it means. I've just left it in there for now because that was the template. Again, I don't know what flow definition is. I've only added this last section. So you can create endpoints and create endpoint configs, but you need to add the stack name as a tag, right? So you still can create your endpoints, but when you create it, you need to also specify a tag. So the tag has to be a stack name, and then the actual stack name that is, when you go through your service catalog, it spins up a whole stack as in your notebook and everything, and the IAM roles, and then you just need to specify the stack name that it gives you. Okay, so that will allow you to hopefully create your endpoints. So
the stack name is the name of the notebook, or?
So I'll go in here. So when you boot everything up, you'll have your provisions, you'll have your notebook. So in here, it just has the stack, but it has a stack name down here. So just use this as your tag, right?
Yep. You create a tag when you set up your endpoint.
That's correct.
Config. And then an endpoint. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
should I be able to see that notebook when I look? Because I can't.
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be user specific.
I was in Singapore. Are you in Sydney?
No, I'm in Sydney.
Yeah, I'm in Sydney, but I can't see it.
Yeah. So maybe it is user specific. So maybe if you do, you should be able to see the product list.
Yeah, I can see the product list.
So you can try spinning that up. So you just, you can click on it. You can launch the product. So it's not too difficult. So it's just choose a name. And then just choose a unique notebook name. You just can ignore all this stuff. It's only placeholders for now. Ignore this and then just click launch. Okay. So what that's going to do is it's going to boot up everything. So all it's doing.
So it's a medium notebook. Yeah. So it's not related to the endpoints. Was medium too much? Like, didn't we just have micro or something? What do we need in the notebook? Do you remember, Lucy? Do we have a?
We usually just use whatever the smallest one is, I think.
So I can change this.
Yeah, we could potentially save a bit of resources if we just use a micro. I don't know. We'd have to have a look what the other ones are, but because most of the work happens on the when it.
Yeah, in the model and the endpoints, you can define a different instance type anyway.
Yep.
All right. Cool. So
yeah.
So then we go to the provision products, and then I should have my thing there.
Yes.
Mine's called Travis Test. All right. Keep going. I'll follow along.
Sorry, can you delete these things, or are they there forever?
Yes.
Oh, you can?
Okay. You can delete them. So you just terminate.
Thanks.
And I guess you can pass it to each other, but yeah. Okay. So I'll just go back to this. So this allows you to create your endpoints, and when you send that command, your request has to have that saying that I've got a stack name tag, and this is the value, which is I showed you the stack name before. Now also you should have all permissions relating to your endpoint also when it's related back to that specific resource, right? So only the endpoints that have an existing resource tag, you should be able to modify. Does that make sense? So the production ones don't have any tags at the moment.
Yep.
So hopefully
and the tags have to match.
Yes, the tags have to match.
Whatever your. Yeah.
I know it's going to be a bit of a pain, but
Yep. So when we so like when I showed you, we create the notebook and we want to validate the model by scoring against the endpoint. That all can be done because we have a tag and we have to specify that tag, which is the stack name. And that's a way that we can access that endpoint, but only that endpoint that's linked to that notebook.
Yep.
And it gets around, prod sort of restrictions. Yep.
Sorry, not this one. I don't know the exact commands, but just going from here, the CLI SageMaker create endpoint, it does look like you are able to specify tags. So I'm hoping in Python and Boto 3, it should have the equivalent. So yeah, if you could, I guess, just take these for a spin. When you open it, you should have all the URLs. So you should be able to access your notebook, and it should be much like always. For this role, I've just allocated full S3 permissions, I think, somewhere.
Sorry, mine only has an ARN, no URL. Like mine didn't look the same as yours. Let me just.
I think yours. It still might
Ours
be
is
booting
still
up.
under change. I think Travis
Yeah.
they haven't
It's
finished being made.
Still being created. Yep. Cool. All right.
Yep. So yeah. So mine's there, and you can just click refresh somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make sense?
Oh, there it is. Succeeded. Yay. Yep. All right.
So,
yep.
Any questions?
Probably loads of questions, but later. I think that's enough to get us started. What do you think, Lucy?
Is the benefit of this that it can go straight into prod? Is that why we want to do it this way?
So you can spin up your notebooks in prod and
use prod data in the prod environment without having to copy sensitive
Things
information
across
down to dev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still have a question mark. Well, so when we go to then test, like once you've created the model, we still have to copy it down to dev to do sort of testing.
What do you mean?
It will just be the endpoint, like the SageMaker endpoint. Or can you hit the one in prod from dev? My Lambda function, it's created in dev. It's going to need to connect to the SageMaker endpoint, and we're going to fire some test cases at it and see what responses we get back and so on and so forth. So I need to have a endpoint in dev.
Yes.
Thing. And that's just going to be the same process as before, like copy the model into an S3 bucket, get it loaded up into dev or wherever.
Yeah.
Generate the endpoint. So we still have that kind of migration problem, but this solves the potentially
building of the model
data problem. And you can now create a model of data that's like live from Redshift or copied from a Redshift into an S3 bucket or whatever.
Yep.
Well, cool. So we possibly don't even need it for this one, or like, is there much point doing it since we've already created the model in dev and we're happy with it?
So this is actually just for general usage. Like, I'm only coming to you guys because you've been using SageMaker.
Yep.
And we want to get everyone on this and get everyone access so they can start building stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when we're testing it, Like
Mhm.
our data's currently in devs. Should we put it into prod to test, or does it matter?
No. Wait. So just for testing, just do it all in dev.
Okay.
And if you get blocked by anything, just let me know, and I'll try and make modifications to the profile.
Yeah.
And I'll make those changes, and then we go retest it. Just basically getting to a point where you're happy that you can do everything that you need to do,
Mhm.
and then we're going to transition that kind of template over into prod, and then hopefully we should be good.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Whereabouts do we need to put the stack name when we're making the endpoint? Is that just like an extra bit at the end of the name of the endpoint?
So it's a
Oh,
tag in
Yeah.
the, you know, the little bit of code that says create an endpoint. Like, let's
Yeah.
find, if we go to one of the existing notebooks, we can find the code. There should be a spot where we can just
Yeah.
add
At the
dash
moment, we
dash
have it
tag or something.
tagged with the like name of the project and our names and stuff, I think.
Yep.
So just add an extra one for stack. Is that how it works?
Can you
okay. So
show us that bit again? Yeah, the one you just looked up. Yeah.
this one's under Photo 3. I think you're already using this, create endpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so it looks something like this. And you just have to make sure that you have this in here. So the string would be, this key would be stack name, and then the
Yep.
value, the stack name value that was.
So stack name camel case, wasn't it, or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So capital stack, capital name. Yep. Cool. All right. Yeah, I think we already added a bunch of tags, so we'll just add that one as well. It's going to take me a while to load it, so yep, we'll work that out. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. So I'll leave it with you guys. I'll probably just give you guys a week and touch base in a week and see how you're going.
Sounds good.
All right.
That was it.
Thanks.
Thank
Yep.
you.
See ya.